Hi, welcome back to Badass Websites here in BOMU. We're currently in Module 2, Building Your Pages, and we're in Lesson 1, Your Homepage. In Lesson 1, we're going to talk about how to structure your homepage, and I'm going to show you some design options for each of the sections of your homepage. Before we get started, a quick reminder, your homepage acts as the air traffic control for your entire site. And so we want to keep that in mind as we're building it out, that your homepage's primary goal is to direct the traffic to the places on your website where they can find information that they need. Whether that's your content, whether that's your about page, whether that's your offers, your homepage is going to be able to direct them to the right place for the right purpose. So let's get started. We're going to talk about the anatomy of your homepage. First, you're going to have a hero section, and I'm going to go list these in order that they show up on your page, or that they should show up on your page. So first, your hero section, your freebies section, a short bio section, a content section, the FYI or for you if section, the work with me section, and a global opt-in section or a general opt-in section. And we're going to touch on each one of these here in this lesson. So first, we're going to start by talking about the hero section, okay? This is the section directly under your primary menu at the top of your homepage. It's typically the first thing a visitor will see outside of your primary navigation, and if you have an announcement or hello bar above your navigation. So wherever a hero section appears on your website, so most pages will have a hero section, and we're talking about specifically the one on your homepage right now. Wherever that appears, or that in a page, it's going to appear above the fold, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. It's going to be the first thing your visitor sees when they land on that page. And you want your visitor to be able to see exactly what your brand is about just by looking at this hero section. Typically, this is where you'd showcase an image of you if you are the face of your brand, or you'll have your elevator pitch, your differentiator statement, or your mission statement. Okay, so if you're the face of your brand, you want a picture of yourself there. Either way, if you have a picture of yourself or not, you want to have a nice elevator pitch, differentiator statement, or mission statement at the very top. You're also going to have a heading. This is going to be the only H1 heading for the entire page that you're building. So wherever a hero section will show up on your site for that page, this is where the H1 heading will live on that page. And it's the only place the H1 heading will live, because on each page, only one H1 heading should show up. Okay, so basically what you want is you want your visitor, once they read through your hero section, you want them to be able to say, it looks like I'm in the right place as soon as they land on your page. As soon as they read that, they know they're in the right place and they have a reason to keep scrolling and keep reading. Typically, this section will provide a button as well, and we always recommend that it starts by leading them to your about page. That's where they're going to go get to know you and your brand more, the purpose of your brand, and how you help people. So we definitely recommend linking to your about page from there. And you can also add your social follow button so people can follow you on social media, and they'll have a way to do that right from the hero section. Okay, I mentioned above the fold. Basically what that means is everything that can be seen at the top of a web page without scrolling. So if someone clicks through and lands on your about page, whatever shows up on their desktop before they click it, anything else, before they scroll, that's considered above the fold. And this phrase was adopted from newspapers, actually, where the top headline and most important news would appear above the first fold of a folded newspaper. Okay, it's usually the most important information. So even on a website, that real estate is very valuable real estate. We want to make sure that we are giving our best copy. We want to be writing our best copy for that top of the page, and we want it also to be optimized for conversion, specifically lead generation. So we're going to talk about in the next section, our freebie section, and I'm going to show you some examples of how you can get that freebie section to show up above the fold as well. So let's talk about a freebie section. This is the section directly under your hero section, and it's optimized for lead generation. Okay. We always recommend that you provide valuable ways for people to get on your list as soon as possible, and lead magnets or freebies are a great way to do that. Then showcasing your available freebies will also provide value right away and an opportunity for them to get on your list. So we always recommend that above the fold, you have some sort of lead generation opportunity that shows up when someone comes onto your website. For your homepage specifically, you can do this with your freebie section. We always recommend you have at least a freebie section. You can also add a hello bar or announcement bar that goes above your primary navigation, and that can also link to one of your freebie pages. But you definitely want above the fold to be optimized for lead generation. Okay? Also, quick note, do not rely on a schedule a call button to build your list. That's not what those are for. That is not the same as optimizing for lead generation. So don't confuse that with an actual lead generation strategy that you're implementing on your homepage. Okay, so let's talk about the button, what you're going to be linking to here. So it depends on if you're having multiple freebies that you're showcasing or if you have one freebie. If you currently have one freebie, you can do one freebie that you're showcasing with one button that's going to go to the landing page for that lead magnet. Okay. If you have more than one freebie, you can showcase multiple freebies in this section and it'll work just fine. And we definitely recommend that you would put a button instead of a form that and the button will link to the opt-in page for that freebie. All right, let's talk about the short bio section. Okay, the short bio section is about who you are, what you do, and why. It's pretty brief, and it's supposed to link to your about page where people can dive deeper into your origin story and learn more about who you are, what you do, and why. Okay, when you're writing your messaging, if you haven't gone through badass messaging, we highly recommend that you do. And we advise people through that course that as you're writing your messaging, you should be writing multiple versions of your bio, including a short mini bio. This is a great place for you to showcase this, okay? It will clarify to people who are on your homepage exactly who you are and give them an opportunity to feel connected to you and dive deeper into your about page. All right, content section. This section will introduce them to your primary long form content, okay? So you can use this to introduce your blog, podcast, or both if you have both. Let people know about your shows, what you talk about, and how you can help them. So if you have a blog and a podcast, you might actually have two different content sections on your site, but a content section is basically showcasing your content, your long form content. So what you can do is you have two options. You can use this section, have one section on your page that introduces your content. So you can introduce your content, have a button that goes to the blog and a button that goes to the podcast. And you're just telling them about what you talk about and how it can help them, the value that it provides, okay? The other thing that you can do is use this section to actually showcase your latest content. So some website platforms allow you to show your latest top 3, 4, 5 posts in a short section on your homepage. If you can do that, that's also a great way to showcase your latest content right there on your homepage, and it can look really nice and get people over to your content. Again, the buttons here will link to your regular blog or podcast content page, or if you were to feature your latest content, it might go to those actual posts, but you'll also have a button that goes directly to your content feed page where people can see all of your content. And I'll be showing you an example of the content page here, or the content section shortly. So let's talk about the FYI or the For You If section. This section should help your visitor identify if your brand is right for them, okay? You'll use this opportunity to get super specific on who you serve and who you don't serve. So you want to make sure that when the visitor finishes reading this section, they're 100% certain that they're in the right place or the wrong place, because you want to make sure if they're not the right lead for you, that they aren't wasting their time, and they're not really wasting your time spending time on your website when really this isn't the place for them. So you want this to make it super clear that yes, you're in the right place, or no, you are not in the right place. And then there's the Work With Me section. So in this section, you'll direct them to your primary offers on your Work With Me or your products and services page. Now that your visitors have identified that they're in the right place through the FYI section, it's time to tell them how they can get help from you, and that's the purpose of this Work With Me section. Okay, this section is primarily meant to direct them to your products and services page, but it can be laid out in a few different ways to help them find the right place. And I'm going to show you a couple layouts in just a second on how this can look. And then the button on this will link again to your products and services page so that you can actually go more in depth into your offers, and you can help them decide which offer is right for them. And then lastly, there's a general section, which is the global opt-in or the general opt-in section. And in this section, you'll provide a general opt-in form for your people to get on your list. This is not the same as a freebie opt-in. This is just a general form, and it's embedded because you're not going to have a standalone opt-in page for this. And this is just for people who don't necessarily want a freebie. They just want to pop onto your list. And what we do recommend is if your ESP does allow a double opt-in feature, that you use that for this specific freebie, because it is an embedded form right directly on the page. You want to make sure that you're not getting bots on your list. And so that will help you keep your list clean for this general opt-in form section. All right, so let's take a closer look at some wireframe examples of a home page. Okay, this is an example of a wireframe that I created, and all the sections we talked about, I have laid out some different ways that you can actually structure them. So at the top here, you have your primary navigation, and then you have what's called your hero section that we covered. So in this hero section, you're going to see this is the H1 headline. Then we're going to have your image. Again, there's multiple ways that you can design this. But this is one way. You can have your image here, and then you're going to have a little bit up here. This is typically your differentiator statement or your elevator pitch, and then a button that goes to your about page and some social icons if that's what you want to also showcase there. Okay. Then we have your freebie section. And typically when someone lands on your page, they might only be able to see this part of it, which is basically your hero section, depending on the size of it, and then the headline of the freebie section. And as long as they can see at least the headline of the freebie section, I would consider that above the fold, and that's going to give them a reason to scroll down. In this freebie section, we have two freebies that we are showcasing, and we are giving them a button that goes directly to each of the freebie landing pages. Below that is your little short bio, and this is an example of how you can lay it out. Again, it's got a headshot to the left, and then it's got a little header. This is an H2 heading, and then some text, which is your mini bio, and then a button to go to your about page. Then we have the FYI section where you can explain that they're in the right place, add a little bit more copy. Here is our content section, and in this content section example, we're introducing the podcast. So if you have a podcast, this is a great way to do it. On the right, you can actually do your cover art for your podcast. You can do another headshot. You can do a different image. And then we're just explaining a little bit about the show, showing that they can subscribe on their favorite podcasting app. And then this would be a button that went to the actual content feed page for that. The Work With Me section. Here is where we're showcasing two offers that we have, a membership and group coaching. Depending on how many offers you have, you can actually make this just a section that's text and links to your Work With Me page, or you can showcase different offers and then they can click over to the Work With Me page. And I typically don't recommend just linking over to a sales page for the offer, because your Work With Me page isn't a sales page. It is a different kind of page. And the reason why I typically don't necessarily link directly over the membership is because they really can't get a lot of information just from this. Some people want to go and they don't know if this is right for them, and your Work With Me page can help them do that. So you can link directly to your sales page from here, but typically I direct them from the home page to the Work With Me page for these offers. Then here is the general opt-in section. It's just a quick form, headline and everything. And then you have your footer, which has secondary menus, and then some social follows and your logo. In this example, we did the hero section a little bit differently with a big background image, and then we did an overlay box with a headline and then some text, a button, and some social follow buttons. We also did the freebie section a little differently. So in this example, this is supposed to show the entire freebie section above the fold, and it's a short snippet of one single freebie, and the button links to the freebie landing page. We have your short bio here, and we alternated the side that the image shows up. So you'll have that headline, some text, a button to your about page, and then on the right side would be your image. We have the FYI section. We have it full width again with text. And this content section, instead of like we did on the last example where we were introducing just the whole podcast, this is a mini feed that shows the 3 latest posts. I also recommend, if you do this, to just have a button or a link somewhere that they can actually go to the content feed page and not just directly to the posts. That way people can go see all of your content. And this is another example of how you can do a work with me section where you're not actually having the individual offers up there, but you talk about how you help, and then they can click over to the work with me page where you can showcase your offers in more details so they can find the offer that's right for them. And in this, the footer, we did it a little bit differently. We have one secondary menu here, and on the right is where we're actually doing our global opt-in. So instead of having a separate section, we're having it here in a 3-column footer. And so this is definitely an option that you can do if your website provider or website platform allows you to do a design like that. All right, that's about it for this lesson. I do want to mention that we do have a link to our homepage block template. There's a button below this video inside the BOMU portal. So go ahead and click that. And I outline every section in order for a homepage. And I link you to examples of different section wireframes. So you can see the different options and the 2 wireframe, the full page wireframes that I showed you in this lesson. All right, in this lesson, we covered how to structure your homepage, and we talked about some design options for each section of your homepage. In lesson 2, we're going to talk about how to structure your about page, and we're going to show some different design options for the about page as well. So stay tuned for us diving into your about page. In the next lesson, I'll see you there.